Gold is hot at the moment, and almost even more so are gold explorers. We're talking to Ranjeet Sundher today, CEO of Brigadier Gold, the latest company to go searching for the precious metal in Mexico, and in a very promising location. Welcome, Ranjeet.
A pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Ranjeet, as this is our first discussion on Brigadier, please give us and our audience a bit of background on yourself and the team, your experience in the industry.
Sure, I'm about 25 years in the industry, from the investment banking side to the project side. On the investment banking side, I've raised about $100 million for various ventures. And on the project side, I've worked in jurisdictions all over the world, from mapping to drilling to pre-feasibility studies to building roads and actually putting projects into production. So my experience and my team's experience is quite complementary to the resource sector.
Okay. Good to know. We're talking about Brigadier Gold, as I've said. It has been dormant for a while now. So were the rising precious metals prices the reason for reactivating the company?
Well, we had been sitting on the public company for a couple of years, waiting for the right time and the right opportunity. About 90 days ago, we decided that precious metals are going to be in vogue again, the next big wave. And with my partners, Steve Vannery, who has worked internationally, and Gary Clark, and our advisors, Oscar Mendoza and Jeffrey Fielding, we dug into our combined 100 years of resource Rolodex and chose a couple of jurisdictions to look for undervalued assets. Those jurisdictions were British Columbia, Canada, Nevada, and Mexico. After deploying teams on the ground, looking at various potential issues before they arise on different projects, we narrowed down to 5 projects. And our current project is in Mexico, and we believe it's a company builder and will rise above the peer group as we develop it.
Okay, very interesting. So pretty short time looking for a company, for a property, getting your hands on the property. We'll talk about what you have there in a second, but let's discuss the location a bit more closely, because, as I understand it, it's situated between 2 projects of other exploration companies which had great drill success recently, and which has been reflected in their respective share prices.
Yeah, most definitely. Location is key in our industry. Our project is in the state of Sinaloa, which is in Mexico. Mexico has had the largest influx of mining capital in the last year than any other country, which was quite interesting on its own compared to what's going on in the world. The state of Sinaloa has been reported as the hottest state in the world for mining. And we were fortunate to have a high-level business partner in Mexico who knew the owner of our asset, the Picacho's Gold and Silver Project. And it's run by a Canadian woman who's been in Mexico for 25 years with her Mexican partners. So there was no translational issues. We spoke the same business language. And she knew of me and my partners, and I knew of her for many years. So our asset is 20 kilometers south of Visla and about 18 kilometers north of GR Silver. When we announced our asset acquisition, that very next day, Visla came up with some incredible numbers on their drill program. They're a multi-vein project, gold and silver veins, high grade. I believe they have about 50 kilometers worth of veins. Our project, just south of it, is 4,000 hectares, a lot of historical work, high-grade gold and silver veins. And the project GR Silver is also a gold and silver vein project in high grade. Visla's market cap is, I believe, approaching $200 million. GR Silver is about $130 million. And Brigadier's about $30 to $35 million. I believe we're about 3 to 4 months away from being where they are, which we can discuss further.
Okay, very good. Certainly exciting times. Now, tell me a bit more about the project. You said it's also a vein project. Where are you going to start looking? What are your main targets? What makes you so excited about this project?
Well, it got our technical team excited first. A very professional data package. The owners have systematically worked the asset for about 10 years and invested 12 million US. So there was a lot of information to look at. The project has the San Agustin Historical Gold Mine. It has approximately 180 small mines historically within the asset, a lot of underground workings. The drill sites are going to be quite predictable of where we want to go based on some of the shafts which have been sunk in. The grades on the asset get up to 185 grams per ton gold at the bottom of the shaft, a couple 100 grams silver, and just adjacent to the, let's call it the gold and silver vein targets, is a porphyry system. So there's multiple drill targets on the property. The government earlier on in the century outlined this area as highly prospective for gold and silver. That's why Sinaloa has become famous today. So we know where we need to go. We liked the data package. We liked the grades of the asset. We liked that it's not grassroots. It's a little past brown roots, and that we can get drills turning very quickly.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, because if you want to catch that current wave of interest in the precious metals sector, you got to get on the ground pretty fast. How long will it take you? Is the project drill ready? Do you need any permits and similar?
No, we are on the ground. We renewed the local permit 2 weeks ago. Michelle is our QP on site. The camp is being built. Major drilling has set up their drill pads. The water lines are being constructed. Infrastructure is excellent. Mazatlan is quite a popular tourist destination, so I'll use that as an area. You fly into Mazatlan from many places in the world, and we're about a 4.5-hour drive by paved and then gravel roads. So excellent infrastructure. Drill program is being organized, and I think your readers will see an update on that within a week as to why are we drilling it, where are we drilling it, what do we hope to hit on this, and when will the results come out. But we'll be moving very fast.
Okay, good to hear. Good to hear. That's what we like to see. Now, this will cost money, of course. We talked about this a bit earlier. You just completed a financing recently for $3.5 million, 26 cents or something. Is that all you've got in the till, and how far will that get you?
Yes, we have about $4 million in the treasury. It's an interesting fact to where we are in the business right now, and rolls back to Sinaloa, Mexico, and gold, silver in general. We opened the placement up at about 7 o'clock in the morning. By 9:30, 10 a.m., only a few hours later, we had between $10 and $15 million worth of orders for the placement. Personally, I've never seen that kind of demand before. Our initial news release we put out was quite comprehensive as to what the asset is, and attracted a lot of high-level players. So we closed our placement at $3.5 million, 26 cents. Now we have a healthy treasury. With that placement is a warrant at 40 cents, which brings another $5 million in, which is in the money. So we're sitting at a position right now where we have the cash for this year and for next year to put 1, 2, 3 drill rigs on the property and properly develop the asset.
Okay. Well, the more you drill, the more the money will go, of course, but we'll see what comes up in as a result. Going back to the financing, you said there was high interest, there was high-level interest. Can you give us an idea who participated in the financing? That management take part?
Yeah, management, founders, and partners, people associated with the asset, did approximately a third of the placement. Institutional, Canaccord, Toronto, Haywood, Lead, some of the larger players did approximately $1.5 million. And there's quite a high-profile resource investor these days by the name of Keith Schaefer. He took a strong interest in the asset based on he likes Visla, he knows Visla. He's been involved since the early days, and Visla actually knows of our asset. And GR Silver knows of our asset, and the GR Silver CEO is very supportive. So we have a combination of founders, management, partners, institutional, and industry who completed our placement.
Okay, very interesting. Now, now that the financing is closed, how many shares are out? And apart from using that money for the Picacho's project, can we expect Brigadier to pick up other projects in the foreseeable future? Because I think that's stated as one of your missions on the website.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. As I mentioned earlier, we did review a lot of projects, and approximately 4 or 5 made our short list. What's happened with our Picacho project in Sinaloa is the deeper we're looking into the data set, the more interesting it's become. We're seeing some assays, historical assays on pieces of gold and silver from the shafts, which are quite high. And we're seeing some incredibly long strike lengths, 7 kilometers on one vein system, 5 kilometers on another vein system. Our initial plan was to add asset 2 and 3, gold and silver, into our company to reward the shareholders and have a sort of a wider focus, potential spin-outs for shareholders or whatnot as assets developed. Based on the feedback on Sinaloa, the feedback on Picacho, at this current time, we're going to focus all of our energy on this asset, all of our treasury on this asset, and take a bit more of a slower approach to bringing another asset in. As I mentioned, several are on the short list, and we are considering timing and being strategic as far as bringing them in the company, with the ultimate reward being the shareholders. So stay tuned on that.
Okay, good. So to sum up, please tell us, in your personal opinion, why now might be a good time to think about an engagement in Brigadier Gold.
It comes down to market cap, valuation. I believe our market cap is approximately $35 to $40 million Canadian. Up north, Visla, 20 approximate kilometers away, $200 million market cap. GR Silver, to our other neighbors, $130 million market cap. I believe our project technically stacks up to both of those assets. They both have fantastic projects, and I think we're the third company with a fantastic project. So there's going to be a steady flow of news and results coming from there. And since the eyes of the world are on gold and silver in that particular state, I think a shareholding of Brigadier Gold is very timely.
Okay, thank you very much. And we'll be sure to check in at a later point, at the latest, after first drill results come out, to see how it all went. Thank you.
I look forward to coming back and updating your audience.
Thank you.